I'm Beth Casavant, and I'm running for the Board of Selectmen. I'd greatly appreciate one of your 2 votes on Tuesday, May 2nd. Shrewsbury is a wonderful community, and I'm running to make sure that our town stays a great place to live, raise a family, work, and retire. Strong leadership on the Board of Selectmen is critical as we transition to a new town manager for the first time in 20 years, and only the 3rd time in our town's history. Since I announced my candidacy in the fall, I have dedicated myself to learning as much as possible about our town-wide needs. I have met with numerous department heads, sat down with members of boards and committees, and talked to residents over coffee and walking about in their neighborhoods, introducing myself and talking about my priorities. I am ready to be effective on day 1. Strong leadership helped Shrewsbury weather the recent economic downturn, and continued strong leadership is required to position our town for a vibrant future. The decision we make as a community on Election Day will determine the long-term health of our town for years to come. My husband Scott and I have chosen to raise our 2 daughters in Shrewsbury because of the high-quality municipal services and strong public schools, and I know that many other residents have the same story. We are a town deeply rooted in history and tradition, yet we find ourselves faced with a number of significant changes and challenges. Shrewsbury has grown rapidly over the past 20 years. Our population has become more diverse, yet we still feel very much like a town. The time has come to acknowledge the limitations we face in our budget and address the question that is very much at the forefront of everyone's mind. What kind of town do we want to be? We must reflect on what we value. As a member of the Board of Selectmen, I will work with my colleagues on the board, as well as those on other boards and committees, to identify our priorities and use them to guide discussions around funding. The path we take must honor our track record of fiscal conservatism, maintain a stable tax rate, but also realistically evaluate how to provide the highest level of service possible and reflect our willingness to invest in the future of our community. Every department, municipal and schools, can advocate effectively for additional funding. There is a tendency to see 2 sides of the budget separately, but we are one town with one budget that determines what we can offer and provide for all of our residents, from our youth to our seniors. During the recession, we prioritized to ensure that critical core services were provided, and we cannot back away from that approach. In good times and bad, it is critical for those in leadership roles to have clearly defined priorities. My main priorities are public safety and education. As your next selectman, I will advocate for the following: additional firefighters to meet the growing demand of our community. Chief Vona has been proactive in applying for a FEMA grant that would fund 4 firefighters for 2 years before the town would need to take on the responsibility. I will advocate for those additional firefighters to bring us closer to the number that is recommended for a community our size. We are currently moving ahead with a plan for addressing the almost 100-year-old Beale School building, and will take advantage of a reimbursement program from the state, much in the same way we did with Sherwood. But what about the police station? An internal study of the police station will allow us to understand the limitations of the current building and identify how a new or renovated space will allow us and the department to run more efficiently. Our population continues to grow, and now is the time to address the needs of our police department so that we can be proactive rather than reactive. Over 6,000 students attend our public schools. The schools constitute the largest part of our overall budget and provide an incredible value to this community. The department is personnel heavy by nature, and the cost of bringing the same program forward every year with no additions requires a minimum 3 to 4% increase. This year, the school committee provided a 5-year fiscal projection that is very sobering. The fixed costs of healthcare, special education, and salaries squeezes our budget and drives us to discussions about reductions in staff and programs that alter the quality of education that our schools can provide. As an educator and a parent of 2, I know that when programs are eliminated, they rarely ever return. And the program that we offer our students today is significantly less robust than what was offered just 10 years ago. My ability to collaborate with others, listen to differing points of view, and find a way to compromise and move forward will allow me to drive the process of planning for a strong future. Your support and your vote will decide the direction our town takes. I bring energy, passion, and a fresh perspective to the table, and I am optimistic about the contributions I can make if given the opportunity. I respectfully ask for one of your 2 votes on Tuesday, May 2nd. Thank you.